This is exciting. You could be doing some weird things in the back, and I see a light. Yes. I'm very happy to be here. I wasn't supposed to be here. I hear I missed some of my co-stars yesterday. I thought it was going to be a big. I got to see everybody here, but I guess some people were here yesterday and then they left. But I'm not complaining about being around Tom and Kevin. So, I certainly am looking forward to the day. Although we probably won't see each other much throughout the day, aside from the short panel this morning. But anyway, welcome and happy Sunday. It is Sunday, right? It is Sunday. Yes. Happy Sunday. Are we going straight to questions, or how does this work? Straight to questions. Okay, and I'm looking over there.
Hi, Tricia.
Hi.
Good morning. My name is Edgar. I'm from Houston, Texas. And I want to thank you for coming to join us. You look even more beautiful in person than you do on screen, so thank you. My question is actually related to a comment that you made at the very end of the short panel earlier, to where you were very fulfilled in having the fans fall in love with two distinct characters played by you. So the question is, can you elaborate a little bit on what challenges you had in portraying both of those characters uniquely? Tom Ellis was asked that same question yesterday in portraying Michael and Lucifer. So I was wondering what your take was on portraying Charlotte Richards and the goddess of all creation.
I just talked about this in a small meet and greet, actually, and to me, after coming off of Battlestar Galactica years before, where I played multiple characters, and I've since done it in Van Helsing, where I played Dracula, and then we did a backstory where I played the woman that became Dracula, and then the interim period, and then Dracula, and then her becoming not Dracula again. So I seem to get hired for these roles, but I was actually very nervous about playing Charlotte, because when I was originally cast, I was just cast for the season for Mom. I was only hired for one season. And within doing a couple of episodes, they said, oh, we're going to bring you back next year. But I didn't know how it was going to, I just assumed I was going to be playing Mom again. But in one way, the characters to me were very... Mom was obviously celestial and disdain for humans, but also very childlike in some ways, but also was starting to learn to enjoy parts of humanity, and she was just fun and a little manipulative, so she was a lot of fun to play. And with Charlotte, she is a sharp, intelligent attorney, flirted on the lines of probably not above the board all the time, not the best mother. This is all a part of her redemption and how she had to become a better person to where she ultimately ended up. So it was easier for me once she knew that all of this was real and her nightmares and everything like that. But in the very beginning, I was very concerned about playing this character that it would come off too much like Mom. So my goal was to make her very human and just the sharp professional that she was, and lose the mischievousness. But because Mom also dressed in Charlotte's clothes and things like that, it's like they looked so similar. I wanted to have my hair straighter to begin with. So a few subtle things, but I was very nervous about it. And then I guess I keyed in more to the fact of, here's this woman who's trying to pretend that she is her normal, very strong self, but struggling with these nightmares and struggling with this vulnerability that is new to her. She's not a character that normally allows any vulnerability into her life. And that's what I tried to go on. So, and then that built throughout the season as she discovers more and more and starts to unravel a little bit more and more as well. So hopefully it came across.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Michelle from Arizona. My question to you is, with the very short time that you had with the show, what was your favorite parts of playing the goddess, and what was your favorite part of playing Charlotte?
I think with the goddess, it was the sense of fun, the sense of mischievousness, but also mixed with, you know, I know she was not to be liked to begin with, right? She was coming in and wanted to break up Chloe and Lucifer and all these things, so she wasn't necessarily a character that the audience was supposed to like. But I liked the fact that she was, at the end of the day, a mother who loved her children. And we did find out later on about the miscommunications between Lucifer and, you know, the family issues that we all deal with, right? We all have stuff in our own families, and this was just a family that had things on a higher level. But the miscommunications and the love, I wanted to bring across the love that she had for her children. And she just maybe went about it in the wrong ways. But her children did love her as well, even if Lucifer fought it. Again, because of some of the miscommunications and things, and some of the things she was doing, he did ultimately want her love, right? So to me, it was finding that balance of playing them as a family with their foibles and their love and their problems. But she was just a lot of fun to play as well. And the grandness of her was a lot of fun to play. With Charlotte, it was, for me, her redemption and her coming to terms with who she was and how she needs to be a better person. And the mistakes she made and owning up to those mistakes. Sometimes took her a little while, didn't want to admit them to herself, but ultimately coming, and you know, I think her death was, to me it was tragic because I think she was getting there on her own, and she would have gotten to that place on her own before the ultimate sacrifice that proved that she had become that person by protecting Amenadiel. So to me it was heartbreaking because she was on the right road. I don't know if that answered your question.
Hi, my name is Phyllis. I'm from New York. First of all, I love the mom character. I thought she was hysterical. So you kind of answered my question before, but a lot of these television shows cater to men. They have all these hot women on the show. So you can see this isn't a serious question. So how is it for you working with all these hot men on the show?
A treat. No, you know, the main thing is, yes, aesthetically they may be very nice to look at, but more importantly, especially working with somebody long-term, day in, day out for, you know, 22 episodes or 24 episodes, whatever we did, those 2 seasons that I did, crazy hours, showing up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and is their dedication to work, their professionalism, and their sense of humor, and their kindness. And that's what all of the men and women on the show had. It was really one of those very lucky experiences. I had that on Battlestar Galactica as well, had it a few other times throughout my career, and then I've had the opposite experience. You know, I worked with, I won't name names, but I worked with an actor that, you know, you could have been describing him by saying a, you know, very good looking actor, very well known, and works a lot, and he was a complete and he just is the, like, there's no part of him that I find attractive at all, aesthetically or not. So the fact that these guys are nice to look at, but more importantly are just brilliant actors and human beings, that's the key.
Brooklyn. You have been in a lot of roles where the character's theme is becoming more human. So, Mother of All Creation, Caprica 6, and my personal favorite, Edie.
Edie?
From Mass Effect?
Yes.
I wanted to ask if you had any thoughts on that last one, if Edie survived, how she and Joker might have worked out.
If Edie survived, if what?
Mass Effect.
I missed the last part of it.
Mass Effect.
Yeah, I know Mass Effect, but what's the question about Edie?
Oh, if she survived the game. Like,
Oh, I've never played the game, so I don't actually know what happens in it. I know she got into a robot body in the third game.
yeah, she was with one of the other characters. And,
Joker?
Yeah, Joker.
I love the play between Joker and Edie. Mass Effect is one of those where I really should try and figure out how to play. I've never played a video game in my life. I played Frogger when I was in high school, or junior high on our first ever computer, like, you know, in the late 80s. And I don't think even on that I made it past the second. I think I got killed with on the roadway all the time. I think I made it past the lily pond, you know, that. And my brain just doesn't work that way. I'm terrible with technology. If my remote control doesn't work, I throw it against the wall because I can't figure it out. So with Mass Effect, that was particularly hard for me to kind of understand what was going on because they never gave us anything in advance. Unlike the other video games I've done where they basically give you your script in advance. With StarCraft, all 3 StarCraft games I did, with Command & Conquer, with Spider-Man, with Mortal Kombat, with, you know, Halo, whatever, all the other games I've done, I've gotten something in advance so I can kind of make sense of it. With Mass Effect, I had nothing, so I walked into this photo booth or the sound booth by myself, and there was a computer screen with 1 line on it. And that's the line I was supposed to read with no context. And the first time I ever read it, they were recording. So, and you couldn't flip ahead while they were, you know, so I really don't know what's going on in the game. And then so the voice director would then just say, okay, say a little bit more like this or a little bit more like this. And sometimes they would, like if Seth Green had already recorded the Joker lines, they would lead me in with his lines. So some of the back and forth between Joker and Edie, I could get and I could understand the joke. But in terms of the world, I don't know. So I wish I could answer your question more, but I actually really don't even know what happened. I just know we went in to re-record some stuff that there was like an alternate ending or something.
Yeah. Well, for not being good with technology, you played 2 amazing AIs.
Thank you. Thank you. That was my most difficult game to actually voice, though, because I didn't know what was going on.
And you were also great as Veronica Darren.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, my name is Lillian. I'm from Northwestern Pennsylvania, and I have 2 questions for you. I would like to know if you think that God and Goddess are continuing to have children in your new universe, and if you think that Lucifer is able to use the flaming sword to come visit you guys, and if he is.
I think God and Goddess are I think they're having fun without popping them out. They did that experiment. I think they're in their retirement years, and maybe they're making some other stuff. And Lucifer, yeah, I think they could figure out a way to have him come visit. Yes. I mean, I would like that, so that's what I'm going to go with.
All right, perfect. I think that's definitely for the best, not having more children after the first time.
Yeah, you know, they were fighting a lot in this last one, you know, so I think they're like, we're done. We're just gonna enjoy.
Hi, my name is Haley. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. And I'm very nervous, so I apologize. But I was wondering if Lucifer had succeeded in throwing the goddess into heaven and locking the gates, what do you think would come from that?
If Lucifer threw the goddess into heaven and locked the gates, well, she had been up there. So it'd be like coming home to some extent. I think she learned a lot on her time on Earth. And she would be with a lot of her children again, which would make her happy. But she is in her own universe now with her husband. And what are they called? Centaurs? There were centaurs there. I think she surrounded herself with animals and vodka and brie cheese. I would like to think that they could bounce back and forth and around, and she could go for holidays and visit her kids. That's what I would like.
I love that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jackie from Virginia right now. So I was very happy to see that you're coming onto the show. Saw you on, of course, Battlestar Galactica, Chuck, everything for that effect. But I was just wondering, for the goddess and Charlotte, do you feel or wish that either of those characters could have interacted with any other castmates more than you got to? And I'm going to include like Tom Welling and anyone else that you might not have had a lot of chance to interact with. Is there anyone that you think that those characters should have gotten more screen time with, or you would have liked to have gotten more screen time with?
I think Charlotte would have just eaten Cain up. But, you know, there was one episode where Ella and Charlotte were, I think Charlotte was trying to figure out how to be a better person. So this is before she really kind of got it. So she was like, oh, what can I do to kind of put a Band-Aid on my badness and figure out how to be good? And so she was following Ella around, and she did learn something, if I'm remembering correctly. She did learn something from Ella, and she stood up for Ella in a later episode as well. Amy is just such a fun human being. Everybody on the show was. I wouldn't have minded another episode or two with a little bit more to do with her. I remember, and if you've heard this before from me, I apologize, but I remember, because I hadn't had much to do with Ella, Amy, and I remember she's an Energizer bunny in person. Like, she literally is the Energizer bunny that never stops. And I remember going to Tom, and leading up to that episode where I had a lot to do with her, and I went, how do you deal with it? Because I'm like an introvert, and I need to go home at the end of the day and just like not hear anything, and you know, and sets are so big and crazy and loud and whatever. It was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle her constant, like. And he just looked at me, he's like, you're gonna love working with her, because, I mean, I'd worked with her in group scenes, and I adored her. But he goes, you're gonna love working with her because she's so good, and she's so prepared, and she's just there to play in a good way, you know, within the scenes.